Is it on? Okay. Hi, my name is Tyler Kimbrell. Today I want to talk about the searching locker policies that often is a big controversy at schools. So to start with, how would you guys like if I brought a handgun like this to school and hid it in my locker with you or your kids? I don't think you would like it very much. And all it would take was me to get mad or frustrated with someone and pull it out and seriously injure someone or kill someone. So today I want to discuss and support why I think it's reasonable to allow locker searches. And they should not only be allowed at school, I think they should also be encouraged to have a safe and healthy community at school. So first, let's start the few statistics. As you can see on the screen here, at least 100,000 students bring guns to school each day, which is a fairly alarming number compared. And at least 160,000 students skip school for fear of bodily harm or other types of harm they think they're going to be in if they go to school that day. 40 students are hurt or killed by firearms at school, so this is also a fairly alarming number. That's per year. Over 6,000 teachers get threatened with physical violence while at school, so that's another thing we want to cut down on. And then over 260 teachers actually get physically harmed at school. So all those numbers are way too high, and that's why I think searching lockers would be helpful for the school community. My first point is that locker searches provide safety for the children and the teachers. Some kids might get mad about their privacy being played with or being violated, but ultimately it provides safety as a whole for the whole school. So, and if you don't have anything to hide, then why are you worried about your locker getting searched? A building with hundreds or thousands of immature students in high school can usually be a brewing pot for physical danger, because teens are immature and they're really volatile and often drama. We've all been in high school. We know how drama affects high school and how it plays a role in our everyday social life. So keeping drugs, alcohol, and weapons out of school can cut down on the potentially dangerous behavior that can occur while taking drugs or bringing weapons to school or drinking at school. We've all seen fights at schools, and usually it's just fist fights or wrestling around, but if that elevates and someone pulls out a knife or a gun, that can potentially not only harm the two that are fighting, but also everyone around, because they could get caught in the crossfire. So I think if we if we have locker searches, we can find these things out and eliminate the very dangerous things that can evolve out of drugs, alcohol, and firearms in school, in your locker. So, while I was researching this online, I realized that searching lockers at schools is not even illegal. It's actually usually in the school policies, but I found several cases online where a student took it to court and said that their Fourth Amendment rights, which the Fourth Amendment says the right to people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing that place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. So it's saying that without reasonable cause, you can't search a student's locker or anyone's personal belongings. But the schools, often the cases are the judges rule that it's not illegal, it's not against the law to search for someone's stuff for the safety of the school. So just like your parents can go through your stuff and find if you have illegal stuff, teachers are like your guardians at school, so they have that same right to search through your stuff to make sure that everything's safe. So in conclusion, searching lockers are good for the school as a whole. And my third point is that lockers are actually school's property, So just like or if you're in high school, just like you borrow sports equipment, you use the computers, borrow the books for a year, the desks and everything. You borrow that for a year, and if you destroy it or mess with it, then you ultimately are responsible enough to pay for it. So since the school is responsible for the locker and the property in it, they're liable for all if you have illegal weapons, drugs, etc. in the locker. So just like a tenant-landlord relationship where the landlord has the ability to check up on the renter's house and make sure it's not damaged, broken, or anything like that, the school has that right to search its own property too, to make sure that it's getting used properly. So if you're on public property, they have the right to search your stuff and make sure everything's safe. I also believe that there's a threshold, and sometimes teachers can abuse this power and make it a point to embarrass you, which I don't agree with at all. I think this should solely be used to protect the safety of the kids, not to embarrass them or anything of the sort, just to provide safety. Just like we don't want to say that just because a handful of teachers abuse this power that we just shouldn't have the law at all. It's just like a speed limit. A lot of people speed, and cops sometimes abuse that power, but we don't want to say we're just going to get rid of the speed limit law just because a handful of people break it or abuse it. So I also think that sometimes the searches can go too far, because I've read about schools going from a locker search to like a pat down and ultimate to a strip search, which is, I don't think, is right at all, and I don't think it's fair to the child, because if you can't find whatever you're looking for in their locker or by patting them down, then they obviously don't have anything on them, or if they do, they've hidden extremely well, but it's still not the right to violate a child like that, or a teenager. So in conclusion, I think that weapons, drugs, and alcohol should definitely be kept out of schools, and one way to do this is through locker searches. Just a student knowing that the threat of a locker search could happen will prevent almost any of them from bringing stuff to school, just because they know it could be randomly searched and they would be caught, so they don't bring it to school. And the best way to monitor trafficking possessions of such items is through locker searches, so that's why I think it's a good thing. And lastly, prevent things like these from getting into our schools and hurting our children or ourselves. So I think locker searches are definitely a good, positive thing for schools. And some of my sources are right here on the screen, where I got most of my information from. Thank you. Turn that off. I got it.